From Baltimore, Maryland this afternoon, the Civic Arena, the New York Knickerbockers, who lead the Atlantic Division, and the Baltimore Bullets, who are the leaders of the Central Division. Their fifth meeting of the year, they have split the 4 previous games. They stand at 2-2. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and today we're going to see 2 division leaders have at it, possibly 2 teams that will be meeting in the NBA playoffs, which are coming up very shortly. As you obviously know from the schedule, we are now running out of games on the regular season schedule. The New York Knicks have a 4.5-game lead over the Philadelphia 76ers in the Atlantic Division. The Baltimore Bullets are coasting with 14 games to play. They have a 12.5-game edge over Cincinnati and Atlanta. This afternoon, we're going to look with a great deal of interest, I think, at the ball game, because today the Baltimore Bullets will once again go without Gus Johnson. Willis Reed played last night, sore leg or whatever, and he had a tremendous night. He had 35 points. However, it was an unusual evening for the Knickerbockers. They defeated Portland in New York 113-102. But you'd ordinarily think that a trip down to Baltimore wouldn't be that much of a challenge for the New York basketball team, but they did have some problems getting here. They had a minor wreck on the bus involved with an automobile, leaving the airport in Washington, and put him in here about 4 o'clock, I think, to bed. Let's find out more about that as Jack Twyman talks with the New York Knicks coach, Red Holzman.
Okay, Keith, thank you very much. Red, you heard Keith refer to the automobile accident last night. Was anybody hurt?
No, fortunately, nobody was hurt. All it did was delay us getting into Baltimore and going to bed.
What time did you get to Baltimore?
Well, we must have got here about 3:30, 3:45, got to bed about 4 o'clock, somewhere around that time.
Red, speaking of injuries, how about Willis Reed? What is his progress report?
Well, Willis, I thought, had a very good game in New York last night against Portland, and he's been playing well. He's limited somewhat. He can't play up to 100% of Willis Reed, but he can play up to 85% of Willis Reed, and we think that's pretty good.
You think playing will aggravate the injury?
Well, if playing was going to aggravate the injury, he wouldn't be playing. It's just a matter of him playing. He's going to have some pain with it, but it can't hurt him as far as his future is concerned or aggravate it any more than it is now.
Red, in the last 25 games, you've won but 12. Are you concerned about your club's momentum for the upcoming playoffs with 11 games left in the regular season?
Well, we'd like to get going. We'd like to start doing some things right. We'd like to get some momentum going before the playoffs. But I think we have been playing better. By momentum, I don't mean necessarily that we have to win a lot of games. We'd like to win every game, but I'd like to see us start doing a lot of things right and start getting back in the habit of doing these things right.
How about today's game? And speaking about doing things right, what do you have to do to beat this Baltimore ball club?
Well, we have to play our game if we can, which is, as I've told you a lot of times, Jack, is merely working together on the defense and a team defense type of thing where we help each other an awful lot because they've got some great shooters and some great one-on-one players. And also, offensively, we've got to keep the ball under control and see if we can hit the open man and get the good shot when he is free.
Thank you very much, Red, and good luck. There you see the matchups on your screen. Earl Monroe going against Dick Barnett in the backcourt. Kevin Loughery paired against Walt Frazier. In the center, Willis Reed is going against Wes Unseld, and at the forward, John Tresvant, elevated to a starter for the ailing Gus Johnson, paired with Jack Marin, will be going against Dave DeBusschere and Bill Bradley.
Baltimore's record on the season, 38 wins, 30 losses, 14 games to go. They lead by 12.5. The Knickerbockers 45-26. They lead by 4.5 over Philadelphia. Willis Reed, number 19 for the Knicks. Wes Unseld, number 41, in white for Baltimore. Here we go. John Tresvant slapped the ball out of bounds, so it's got to be New York putting the ball in play. Dick Barnett, Walt Frazier are the guards. On the front line, it's Bradley, DeBusschere, and Reed. Walt Frazier being guarded by Kevin Loughery. Dave DeBusschere, who had 18 last night in the win over Portland. Barnett picked up by Earl Monroe. Back to Willis Reed. DeBusschere has room. Dave misses. Fighting for the rebound, Jack Marin made it possible for Wes Unseld. Here's Earl the Pearl. The shot partially deflected by Bradley and picked up by Bill Bradley. No score. The game just getting underway. Shot missing. And the rebound is outside. DeBusschere to Bradley. And it's Bill Bradley.
With Gus Johnson not in the starting lineup for the Bullets, Dave DeBusschere is going to have a lot more freedom defensively. He will be able to roam around, help Willis Reed out on the big man inside, and just not have to pay as much attention to Trezvan as he would Johnson.
Earl Monroe, who was so super last week. That's Wes Unseld. Soft little hook as he came up in the lane, got in front of Reed, and dropped it in to tie it at 2-2. Remember, immediately following our NBA game of the week, the fourth round of the PGA, and that's Dick Barnett. Kevin Loughery, number 22. For Baltimore, Earl Monroe is 10. John Trezvan, 12, sets a pick. Monroe working with the corner, picked up by Bradley. Double team, but clears the strike. Goes in, comes out. DeBusschere has it. Barnett has room. Tough one to lose. Jack Marin, the rebound. The Blue Devil clears to Kevin Loughery. Kevin fires off the left side of the iron. And inside, loose ball. Nope.
Loose ball on the rebound there. There you see Baltimore's offense. They're a looser offense than New York. They're a one-on-one offense, very undisciplined, whereas New York works for the give and goes, the picks, a lot of picks off of Reed. So that's basically the offensive difference in these two ball clubs.
Earl Monroe steals the ball from Barnett. And a whistle stops it. And a foul is called. Barnett.
For the New York Knicks, that's Dick Barnett.
So Barnett has one, and the Knicks have one. Trezvan has his first, and Baltimore has one team foul.
Everybody concerned with the health of Willis Reed today. Willis has been up and down these past 2 weeks, and although he had 35 last night, he said before this game his knee was very, very sore.
New York 4, Baltimore 3. As you see, on the free throw by Monroe. That's Bradley. Back to Reed. Willis Reed gets his first points of the afternoon. It's New York 6, Baltimore 3. Unseld. Over Reed, it's short. DeBusschere. And Bradley. Reed. Dave DeBusschere. Wes Unseld clears for Baltimore. Kevin Loughery is fouled.
On number 12, New York Knicks, Dick
Barnett picks up his second personal.
It is his second. It is the second team. Time is called. Baltimore.
We have 9:07 to go in the first quarter. Timeout here at Civic Center in Baltimore with our score. The New York Knicks 3 and the Baltimore 6. And so the Knicks will put it in. Knicks got to bed, as Red said, about 4 o'clock after a minor accident. Nobody involved. Injured. Barnett missing the rebound, and a whistle stops it inside. Kevin Loughery gets the foul for the Baltimore Bullets. That's his first personal.
And in recent games, it's been Loughery that has been the defensive stop. Against Petrie, the player scorers the other night in the first half, and he has been assigned to Walt Frazier here.
Loose ball foul out of bounds New York. Second team foul Baltimore. Frazier with it. DeBusschere.
Trezvan is not giving, or is giving DeBusschere a lot of room. That's one forward you can't give room to. A great outside shooter, so Trezvan will have to come up a little tighter on DeBusschere.
New York 5 out of 11 from the field, 10 points. It's Unseld over Reed with a short kick. Trezvan. New York by 1. Marin guarding Bradley. Bill gets loose. Missed it. Offensive foul. Bradley's first personal. Bill went for the shot, came down, banged into a bullet. Kevin Loughery, number 22. Wes Unseld, number 41. Back to Loughery. Beauty. And the Bullets have the lead by 1. First time they've led in the game. 6:40 to go first quarter. Dick Barnett. Jack Marin picks him up. Bradley. DeBusschere. Kevin Loughery with it. Jack Marin. And Bill Bradley down with it for the Knicks. Here comes Barnett. The Baltimore's ball on the rebound action.
In Marin and Bradley, they're guarding one another. You have two of the most mobile forwards in the game of basketball. They both move very well without the ball, and you'll see them both have open shots. That comes from moving without the ball and working their men into pick.
Unseld to Monroe. Frazier. He gets Walt in the air, then hit the shot. In the second quarter at Philadelphia, the 76ers are leading Cincinnati 57-49 with 2:41 left in the second quarter. We'll keep you posted on that important ball game this afternoon. Willis Reed missing. Baltimore had it, lost it. Now the Bullets get it back. Hot potato around the rebound. That's Earl Monroe. And Baltimore leads by 5. They have scored 7 unanswered points to grab the lead 15-10 with 5:15 to go. And Kevin Loughery gets it. Monroe with nobody to beat. The Bullets have a 7-point lead. Earl Monroe has 7 points in the ball game. And we have a timeout here at the Civic Center. 5:09 to go in the first quarter. And the Baltimore Bullets are leading the New York Knicks. Baltimore Bullets, who have run up 10 points without an answer from New York, leading 17-10 with 5:09 to go first quarter.
And Unseld, and there you see Earl Monroe. Earl Monroe with 7 points here. He's been allowed to go one-on-one, and he has delivered. But mostly because of Trezvan and Unseld. They're going to the boards, and they're getting that Baltimore fast break started.
Willis Reed against Wes Unseld. Walt Frazier, Jack Marin guarding him. Gets Marin in the air. Jack fouled him. Basket counts.
Let's watch Frazier again. Watch him use the ball to fake. A great move by anybody. Draw the man up in the air, then double pumping up. Good body control by Walt Frazier.
Walt going for the three-point play. And gets it. The Knicks trail Baltimore by 4. Here comes Earl the Pearl. Slapped out of his hand by DeBusschere. Bullets played in. It's Loughery. Gibbons a little short. Tip rolls off. New York ball. Scores last night. Phoenix beat Detroit 124-117. Knicks over Portland 113-102. Atlanta beat Buffalo 134-117. Here's DeBusschere over Trezvan.
Notice both Unseld and Reed are coming out awfully high to set those picks. Normally you're about 12 to 15 feet. Both of them are out beyond the foul line, about 18 to 20 feet.
DeBusschere now with 6 points. Trezvan in the lane. Beauty. Got a soft little flip up over Willis Reed. So Trezvan has 4 points. It's Baltimore 19 and New York 15. Come on. Beautiful pass by Frazier. Missed the layup. Earl Monroe. He's something, isn't he? He has 9 points. Here's DeBusschere out of the corner, and it goes to Earl Monroe. Frazier on him, gets his shot up, misses badly. Here's the rebound by Johnson. The big rookie from Stephen Austin, George Johnson, who had a big day against Atlanta last week, particularly on the backboard. Gets his first points of the day. That's Bradley. Well, Bradley answers with a fine effort. It's still Baltimore by 4. 23-19. Jack Marin blocked by Bradley to Loughery. And it's picked up outside by Dick Barnett for New York. Here's Bradley. Now the Bullets lead by 2 as Bradley gets his 6th point. Walt Frazier reached around, slapped him on the arm. First personal. Fred Carter comes into the lineup now for Baltimore, so it's probably going to be Carter on the front line. We'll see what happens, see how it goes. Here's Earl Monroe on the free throw line, shooting one and making it. It's George Johnson, 31, Earl Monroe, 10, Wes Unseld, 41, Fred Carter, number 3, and Jack Marin, 24, for Baltimore. Dick Barnett into Willis Reed for New York. Reed over Johnson. Misses, tipped by DeBusschere, and Baltimore's Wes Unseld comes down with it. Here's Fred Carter, missing out of the corner. DeBusschere. Frazier. Bradley. Marin's rebound to Monroe. Unseld to Fred Carter. Fred was loose, took it in unmolested.
New York's only been getting one shot at the basket due to the lack of offensive rebounding. It's not going to get any better with Unseld in there at forward.
Great try by Reed. Great try by DeBusschere. And both miss. Baltimore by 5. Here's Carter again. Great effort by Fred Carter. 6'3", but he can really get up in the air.
The thing that got that started, once again, Wes Unseld made the tough pass all the way down to half court. He didn't make the easy pass, and that's why their fast break is working so well.
10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Baltimore leading by 7. 2 seconds. They're not going to get the shot away. They did not. They did not clear the shot at the end of the first quarter. This ball game, New York 10 out of 28 in the first quarter, 1 out of 1 from the line, 13 rebounds. Baltimore 12 out of 24 from the field, 4 out of 6 from the line, and the Bullets had 16 rebounds. Here we go with the second quarter of play. Unseld comes up with it as Johnson did the jumping at center for Baltimore. For the Bullets, it's Kevin Loughery, Earl Monroe, George Johnson, Wes Unseld, and Fred Carter.
You see Johnson coming up high and Unseld establishing a deep post against DeBusschere, trying to take advantage of that mismatch.
Reed rebounds as Loughery misses, and here comes New York with Mike Reardon, number 6, in the lineup for the first time this afternoon. Bradley, Reed, Frazier, and DeBusschere are the Knicks. That's DeBusschere open. They can't get it, and lock Baltimore. Fred Carter. Fred Carter found his spot with his Baltimore club last year in the playoffs against these New York Knicks. Earl Monroe got in a little one-on-one contest with Frazier. He won. He came up with his 12th point. Here's Frazier faking. Fred Carter into the air, and Carter draws the foul.
You see Walt Frazier try and fake a shot to the basket. But once you hear that whistle, there it is again. Let's look at that again. Watch Frazier. He makes the pass and draws Carter up in the air, and then realizes that he has 2 shots, but the ball's on its way. So watch this. Look at it as he tries to draw the 2-shot foul.
1 shot.
Free throw is good. We have 10:56 to go first half. The score, Baltimore 30 and New York 22. 8-point lead for the Bullets, and that's Kevin Loughery. Cut off in the corner by Walt Frazier. Goes into Unseld. Loughery, George Johnson. Against Reed. Forced it, missed it. The cut draw iron with it. That's Reardon down the sideline, and a little guard from Providence pops one in. And 10:31 to go in the first half. Time is called. With a timeout here in Baltimore in the second quarter, our score, the Baltimore Bullets 30 and the New York Knicks 24. Baltimore's ball. Again, let's check over the lineups for the Bullets. It's Kevin Loughery, Fred Carter, George Johnson, Wes Unseld, and now Carter has moved up into a forward position on the front line. There's a tip by Unseld.
Loose ball. 41.
And probably a loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul on Wes Unseld.
Wes Unseld getting the loose ball call against him. That is his first personal foul. It says that Don Meredith is going to be stalking a Cape buffalo in Zambia, Africa, on American Sportsman today. That's not the reality. I heard the buffalo is stalking the cowboy. Dave DeBusschere gives it to Mike Reardon. Willis Reed passes away into the corner to Leary. Goes back to Willis, and as time expired on the timer, the ball rolled out of bounds, and Baltimore gets it. That's the fourth New York turnover. 9:45 to go in the first half. The Bullets are leading by 6, 30-24. Fred Carter playing the forward position right now. For Baltimore, puts it up. He has 6 points.
Carter's much quicker than Bradley. Carter normally a guard. With Unseld playing forward, Gene can enjoy the luxury of a small forward, which he is doing right now.
Knicks with the ball. That's Walt Frazier over Loughery. Johnson and Loughery lost it to Frazier. Here's Bradley. So Bill Bradley gets the point, his 8th of the ball game.
32, New York 26.
A 6-point Baltimore lead with 9 minutes to go in the first half. Fred Carter spins against Bradley, drives and gets the point. That's a perfect example of what Jack Kleiman was talking about.
And Baltimore, if ever there was a one-on-one ball club, it's Baltimore. They give it to the man with a hot hand, as they did there. Monroe in the first quarter. They're looking for Carter now.
Carter's 4 out of 5 from the floor. Bradley gets loose.
He's also not used to playing defensive forward.
6-point Baltimore lead. Bradley's 5 out of 8. Here's Carter again. He went for the circus with that one, but it didn't work out for him. And here's New York. Here's DeBusschere way outside. At least 25, 28 feet. Missing. Earl Monroe over the backboard. It'll be New York's ball. Dave Stallworth and Cassie Russell will come into the New York Knicks lineup now, and Bill Bradley
And Russell is number 33.
and Dave DeBusschere will leave for the Knicks. Now for Baltimore, Wes Unseld has gone off the court, and Jack Marin has returned.
Gene Shoe's showing an awful lot of confidence in his rookie, George Johnson, letting him go, and he's playing much more aggressively this week than he did last week, so he's gaining that experience.
Dave Stallworth over Loughery. Loughery clears the rebound. 2 on 3. Here's Earl Monroe. The little jitter step, and he made it. 14 points for Monroe. Oh, that woke up the crowd. Frazier gets George Johnson in the air and begged for the foul and didn't get it. Good move by Walter. Here's Fred Johnson, Jack Marin. Carter loses. Mike Reardon. Walt Frazier guarded by Monroe, and Earl fouled him.
Let's take a look at that Monroe basket again. This is his forte, Earl Monroe. One-on-one, he goes behind the back. He moves very well one-on-one with the ball. Great move by Earl Monroe. Up and under.
We have a timeout here at the Civic Center. We have 7:05 to go in the first half of play. And our scoreboard reads the Baltimore Bullets 36, the New York Knicks 30. Shoot one time. Walt has 6 points. 3 team fouls on the Bullets. They've got a 36-31 ball game. Baltimore by 5. Mike Reardon picks up Earl Monroe in backcourt. He's really on him, too. Inside the big George Johnson, working against Willis Reed. And Willis checks it out of bounds. Wes Unseld will return to the Baltimore lineup. Walt Frazier's out for New York, and Dick Barnett is interchanged for the Knicks. Unseld replaces Earl Monroe. Fred Carter, the ball. Jack Marin. Jack will gun it. Outside, Loughery. Cassie Russell gets his first rebound of the afternoon. Dave Stallworth brings it down. Cassie will shoot. So the big guy from Michigan jumps one in there to make it a 3-point Baltimore lead at 36-33. Biggest lead in the game so far for Baltimore, 8 points. Wes Unseld Hooks the pass to Johnson and slams it in.
Those two make a very effective tandem pivot. Unseld in deep and George Johnson high. They're working very well together.
5-point Baltimore lead at 38-33 with 6:05 to go first half. Outside it's Stallworth for New York. Cassie Russell. Oh, Cass got two in a row. 3-point lead for the Bullets. Fred Carter in front court. This time Reed slaps it away from Johnson, and Johnson knocks it out of bounds. Johnson will leave, and Tresvant will return. That's George Johnson. Gus Johnson is not going to play today. He did not even shoot up.
Actually, Cassie Russell just a little too quick for Wes Unseld, so Dane Shue coming back with a normal lineup, allowing it was a little quicker to play Russell.
Mike Reardon for New York. Dick Barnett, Cassie Russell, and Dave Stoll. Dave shoots. Barnett. Over the top. From the back. Jack Marin commits the foul, his second personal. That'll be the fourth team foul against the Bullets. Jackson comes into the lineup now for the New York Knicks. Phil Jackson, he's 6'8", 220. He's from North Dakota. First shot by Barnett is good. It's Baltimore 38, New York 36. The Knicks coming back. Barnett with 3 points. Rebound to Tresvant. Willis Reed out of the ball game right now as Jackson replaces him. Kevin Loughery goes to Unseld, working against Jackson. Puts it up again. This time Unseld gets it.
There you saw Unseld outweighs Jackson by about 30 pounds, and he's taking advantage of it.
4-point Baltimore lead. Here's Jackson open. Rebound to John Tresvant. That's 6 rebounds for Tresvant. Fred Carter into Unseld, slapped away. Barnett gets it. Jackson just reached around and poked it away. Here's Cassie Russell. Russell's hit 3 in a row. Baltimore by 2 with 4:30 to go in the first half. Carter backing in against Barnett. 10 points for Fred Carter. Red Holzman on the bench. The coach of the Knicks.
Carter grabbed that ankle on that last shot when he went down. He came down and twisted his ankle. He's worried about that ankle out there, Keith.
Cassie Russell is 4 for 4. Baltimore by 2. Here comes Carter. Double team. Forces a shot. Down he goes. Hard. Russell and Barnett doubled up on him.
Foul is on Cassie Russell, number 33.
Foul was on Cassie Russell. Jack Marin leaves. Earl Monroe returns for Baltimore.
Carter seems to be all right on the line. He was limping a little bit going down the floor, but up and down seems to get the blood going back again.
That's first free throw is good. Gives Baltimore a 3-point lead. He has 11 points. He's 5 out of 9 from the field. Baltimore by 4. 3:58 to play first half. Biggest lead Baltimore's had, 8 points. Mike Reardon with it for New York, number 6. It's Phil Jackson. Cassie Russell. He missed the first shot. Phil Jackson crashing in. That's his first person.
Jackson, his first.
Monroe plays it in. We have 3:43 to go in the first half. Russell checking Carter, and Carter bouncing it off Russell's leg as the Knicks go into that full court press.
This is a favorite tactic of Holzman. In the closing minutes of a quarter or a half, he tries to unnerve the other team and come up with this full court press.
Unseld, again almost losing it to Jackson. Here's Monroe. Short. Russell the rebound for New York. Barnett. Stalwart. Reardon against Carter. Jackson trying for the rebound. Carter gets his second personal foul. Jack Twyman's going to be talking with Dave DeBusschere and Wes Unseld at halftime. I think you'll enjoy those comments. Two men whose big chore is down the road.
That's for sure. Two real good pros and two very key figures in both these ball clubs playing.
Jackson getting the first free throw at 3:07 to go in the first half. He has 2 points in the ball game, and it's a 2-point Baltimore lead. Earl Monroe, Kevin Loughery in the backcourt, Wes Unseld, John Tresvant, Fred Carter on the front line for the Bullets. Loughery against Barnett. Unseld inside. Wes Unseld with 6 points. Knicks down quickly. Russell. Reardon. Here's Jackson over Unseld. Russell up high. Unseld has the ball snuffed out of his hand by Reardon. So Baltimore with a 46-42 lead and 2:27 to go in the second quarter, and a foul on Reardon. That's Mike's first person. At 2:24 to go in the first half, and Earl Monroe will go to the line.
Of course, that was an intentional foul. It's the only the third team foul of New York, so they could conceivably give them another foul.
Earl Monroe, 81% from the charity line, misses the free throw, and the Knicks call timeout. 2:22 to go in the first half.
There's Willis on the bench. There's the knee that has been so much in the limelight. It's taped under the kneecap, but it has been giving him a lot of trouble, and I guess with coming in here at 4 o'clock in the morning, that hasn't helped it any.
And playing last night, he had 35 points last night, which is the biggest night he's had in scoring this season. Here is Dave Stallworth now for the Knicks in the blue, and Dave drives and looks down for him. And Unseld clears for Baltimore. Here come the Bullets. They lead by 4. Tresvant. Baltimore, 21 out of 45. New York, 18 out of 47 from the field. First half. Minutes 50 to go in the first half now, and the Bullets lead by 6. Dick Barnett. Into Cassie Russell. Over Carter. Unseld the rebound. Sweeps it out to Earl Monroe, and Earl hobbles. Well, he's probably faking a little bit. Unseld the rebound.
I was going to say, I think we saw a little bit of the Monroe technique. He double clutched it and took advantage of it.
Baltimore by 8. Unseld has 7 rebounds in this period as Dave Stallworth turns in a beauty. Loughery in front court with 22 for the Bullets. John Tresvant against Stallworth. Pops it up. He's fouled by Stallworth.
You know, we talked about Reed, and Reed is coming back into the ballgame now along with Frazier. But Reed has been slowed down here. I think a big reason, which it's oftentimes you don't realize, when you play against a man like Unseld at about 260, is always leaning on you. So Reed, complicated by that bad knee, it's doubly hard on Reed this afternoon when you have to hold up Wes Unseld along with perhaps an injury. So I think we're seeing the effects of playing against a man so much heavier than himself.
John Tresvant, 70% from the foul line. Baltimore 50, New York 44 with an even 1 minute, 60 seconds to play. He's 1 for 2 from the foul line in the ball game, and Baltimore leads by 7. It's Frazier, Stallworth, Reed, Russell, Barnett for New York now. Willis Reed. At 45 seconds to go, hits one for the Knicks. Baltimore leads by 5. Earl Monroe against Walt Frazier. Little short. Tresvant. Kevin Loughery. Tresvant. There'll be a foul.
Kevin Loughery got caught. He didn't go for the ball in that last one. He went for the man, but real good offensive rebounding job by Baltimore. Let's try and catch that again. Watch 22. See him go for the man. He went for Stallworth instead of the ball.
That's second personal on Kevin Loughery. Dave Stallworth on the line, 1+1. 27 seconds to go, first half. 51-47, Baltimore. Dave gets 2 at the free throw line to cut Baltimore's lead to 3. And we've got now 20 seconds to play in the first half. Baltimore's going to have to shoot. There'll be 2 ticks of the clock remaining with a 24-second timer expired. There's 6 on the timer, 8 on the scoreboard clock. Earl Monroe. Oh, halfway down it came out. And there's the end of the first half. Baltimore lead as we get set for the second half. It'll be Unseld and Reed jumping at center. Walt Frazier, Dick Barnett, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley for New York. John Tresvant, Kevin Loughery, Earl Monroe, Fred Carter for Baltimore, and the Bullets in white have it. Keith Jackson along with Jack Twyman, and here we go.
And the Bullets really crippled now with Marin out of there. They're 2 starting forwards. Carter moving back to a forward.
Earl Monroe once against Walt Frazier, doubled up. The ball is swept away, and 3 seconds is called. 3 seconds. He was standing in the free throw lane looking for help. And when you're looking for help, 3 seconds is not very long. Here's DeBusschere. Into Willis Reed. That's Bradley. Barnett gets Earl Monroe in the air, and a foul called on Earl the Pearl. That's his second personal foul. First team on Baltimore in the third.
And as we look at Monroe, Baltimore is forced to do what an undermanned team has to do to stay in a ballgame. They're pressing all over the court, trying to take advantage of their quickness in the forecourt. With Tresvant and Carter playing forward, they're a little quicker than the New York forwards, so they're pressing.
Barnett missing the free throw. Bullets clear it out of there. Kevin Loughery. Bullets lead by 5. DeBusschere behind Reed's screen. Carter rebounds for Baltimore. Well, Fred Carter's turned out to be a jack-of-all trades for Gene Shue, though. Doing a fine job. How about that for an effort? Reed rebounds for New York. Kevin put on a little act but didn't draw the whistle. Here's Barnett. Bill Bradley for New York has it outside. Barnett goes into Reed, and it's slapped away by Frazier. Reed came out, set a pick, broke away, was open for a second. Barnett's pass a little late. Willis will inbound it. Back to Reed. Shot over Unseld. Missing, and Tresvant rebounds for Baltimore. Number 22 is Kevin Loughery. Slapped out of his hands by Barnett. By Baltimore. We have 10:23 to go in the third quarter here at Civic Center in Baltimore, Maryland. And the Baltimore Bullets are leading the New York Knicks by a score of 53-48. Who has averaged 3.9 rebounds, or roughly 4 rebounds a game during his career, has 9 in the ball game today.
Kevin Loughery smiling there as he's over at our bench.
Getting a little publicity out of this. He has 3 offensive and 6 defensive rebounds. Kevin plays it in for Baltimore. Here go the Bullets. That's Unseld. That's Fred Carter. It's a 7-point Baltimore lead now. Carter with 14 points in the ball game for Baltimore. Frazier and Reed. Barnett picks it up. DeBusschere. Unseld. Loughery. Got a 3-on-2. Here goes Carter. Barnett. Reed. Willis gets a 14-footer. Foul is Monroe. That's the third personal on Earl. Reed will be on the line. Second team on Baltimore in the third quarter with 9:43 to go. Reed 6 points in this ball game. He had 35 last night.
Keith, they call him the captain, and I think that connotes his importance to that ball club. You see the respect that Dave DeBusschere paid to Willis in my remarks with him at halftime. And as Willis goes, so goes this Knickerbocker ball club. And he's having problems, and as a result, they're having problems.
Loughery fires away from the corner. Reed, sore leg and all, beats Unseld on the rebound. But the Bullets then fumble it away. And here's Frazier to Barnett. Now the Baltimore Bullets are leading New York by only 2 points. As the Knicks have surged back here in the third quarter. Fred Carter. A little short. Carter following. That's his 16th point of the ball game. 16 for Carter. 9:03 to go in the third quarter. Loughery checking Frazier. Walter. Pretty play, and New York again pulls within 2. Loughery. Left away, New York comes out. Barnett. Bradley. Loose ball foul. Called, I think, on Bradley. It is.
Loose ball foul on 24, Bill Bradley.
Bradley. Rebound to Carter. And a 3-on-1 to Tresvant. Bullets by 4 with 7:15 to go, third quarter. Walt Frazier. Great effort by Frazier. 11 points for Walt. Earl Monroe. Reed rebound. Clears it out to Barnett. DeBusschere. You don't give Dave DeBusschere that much time out of the court.
Reed's moving a little better, Keith. He seems to have loosened up a little bit, a lot more mobility than he had in the first half.
We have 6:49 to play in the third quarter here at Civic Center in Baltimore, and our score is tied. The Knicks send out Dick Barnett, Bill Bradley, Willis Reed, Dave DeBusschere, and Walt Frazier. That's the unit that started. Baltimore sends out John Tresvant, Wes Unseld, Fred Carter, Earl Monroe, and Kevin Loughery. Loughery number 22, Monroe number 10. And Fred Carter at 6'3" remains at a forward position. Loughery and Monroe the backcourt.
The way he can jump, he's hardly considered a 6'3". Keith, his teammates call him Mad Dog. That has to tell you a little something.
He's reckless. He really risks himself at times to go to the board. Here's Tresvant against DeBusschere. John has 11 points in the ball game. Eddie Miles, of course, lost to Baltimore for the season, former teammate of John. Eddie with a severed Achilles. Gus Johnson not even suited up today with a bad knee. Ball is knocked loose by Fred Carter. He gets away with it. Frazier goes with it. How about that? Carter, 18 points.
Watch this play by Fred Carter. He gambles. He wins with the gamble. Now watch him hold up in the air here. Great body control by Fred Carter.
Walt Frazier for New York. And Salukis hits one. 13 points for Frazier. Over by 2. There's Earl Monroe. Slapped out of there by Willis Reed. DeBusschere. Oh, that big defensive play by Willis. Sure enough, there was DeBusschere. Loose for the easy one. 63 apiece. Score time for the third time. Loughery. And Baltimore back on top by 2. Remember, immediately following the week comes the final round coverage live and in color of the PGA Golf Championship. Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Frazier. Loughery just shook his head. 65 apiece. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Tresvant. Earl Monroe. Walt Frazier. He is going to draw a personal foul. Second personal on Walter.
Is second. It is the second team.
That's the second team. Third quarter. $15 points now for Earl Monroe.
Now defensive change by Baltimore. Carter moving back to guard Frazier because of his hot hand.
Baltimore ahead by 1, 66-65. Earl Monroe gets the foul. That's 4 on Earl. John Tresvant for Baltimore. And he'll foul. Bill Bradley gets his third personal foul. And it's the third New York team foul. John will shoot 2 times. He has 11 points. Jack Nicklaus, we're told, has bogeyed 3 out of the first 5 holes in the final round of the PGA. He is now -5, so Gary Player and Gibby Gilbert at 3 under, and their chances look a little better right now. Stay tuned. That drama coming up on ABC from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Right after the ball game. So Tresvant gives Baltimore a 68-66 lead. Hey, that wind just whipping around down there on that PGA National golf course. It's pretty tough. Here's Willis Reed. Oh, great effort. Score's tied again. 6 times. We've had it locked up. And it goes to Big George Johnson. He shoots over Willis. Rebound cleared out by Walt Frazier. Gives it to Reed. Reed coming outside.
Reed's moving a lot better, Keith. There you see him going down the floor. He's getting more into the offense, and he's asserting himself more defensively.
Fred Carter, number 3. Loughery, 22. Tresvant, 12. George Johnson, 31 for Baltimore. Loughery won't go. Wes Unseld. Tough work inside to get the basket. 3:20 to go in the third quarter, and we have 2 teams with 70 points apiece. And Frazier misses. Loughery will take it in. Blocked by DeBusschere. Fred Carter. Willis Reed, the rebound for the Knicks. And time is called by New York. So we have 2 minutes and 59 seconds remaining to play in the third quarter at the Civic Center here in Baltimore, Maryland. In the third period, Baltimore 8 out of 17 from the field, New York 10 out of 18. Rebounds are even at 9. Score is tied at 70-70. We have 2:59 to go in the third quarter. Walt Frazier has it for New York. Fred Carter guarding him. Dave DeBusschere. That's Bradley. Bill Bradley gives New York a 2-point lead. Bradley with 13. Unseld, DeBusschere. Physical battle. West missing. Fred Carter muscles it up, and the basket counts. He's got a 3-point opportunity.
Well, let's take a look at that again. I don't know how he got that right arm free. He faked number 3, Fred Carter, faked up, and just jumped between Reed and DeBusschere. A beautiful move by Fred Carter. And he drew the foul.
Foul is on Reed, his first. Carter with 20 points, 9 out of 13 from the field. 4 team fouls on New York. Fred Carter converts the 3-point play and puts Baltimore back on top by 1. We have 2:15 to go, third quarter. Bill Bradley. Loughery way up for rebound number 10. Baltimore suddenly by 3, and Loughery has 10 points. We have 1:50 to go in the third quarter. Frazier to Reed. Walt got George Johnson to commit and then gave it to Willis, and he was free. 9 assists in this ball game for Walt Frazier. Into Unseld. Busher working against West. Fred Carter with 4 on the timer.
Nick, that Unseld sets. He's a big man out there, and Carter is using him beautifully.
Carter is 10 out of 14 from the field. He has 21 points. 23 points. Reed over Unseld. It's Baltimore by 1. Willis Reed, 15 points in the game. 55 seconds to go in the third quarter. Wes Unseld. Dave DeBusschere having quite a battle inside. DeBusschere getting the foul, his second personal.
And Reed has really come alive in this third period. He has 11 of his 15 points in this period. And as I said earlier, as Reed goes, so goes the Knicks. And he's brought them back. They're running and shooting like we've seen them do so many times.
5 team fouls now on the Knicks. With 44 seconds to go.
Clubs are trying to find their momentum, and it's important to go into a playoff with their momentum. And that's what they're trying to get here this afternoon, to get a streak put together so that when they come up to the playoffs, they're a hot ball club. There's Freddie Carter, and there you see his statistics. 23 points in this ball game, the leading scorer for Baltimore.
Dory Murray, number 40, has come into the lineup for Baltimore. Wes Unseld will be on the free throw line. He has 10 points, 16 rebounds. He has 12 defensive rebounds. He has 6 assists. Shooting a 1+1, he makes the first one. Gary Zeller comes into the lineup for Baltimore, replacing Kevin Loughery. Zeller, number 11. He is a rookie from Drake, 6'3". It's now a 3-point Baltimore lead. With 40 seconds to go in the third quarter, Dick Barnett, Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Dave DeBusschere, and Bill Bradley from New York. Zeller is guarding Barnett. Bradley took that play perfectly, didn't he?
You know, Johnson really shouldn't have switched. You step back and let Zeller slide through, because Zeller was guarding Willis inside and Johnson was guarding Barnett. It was a mismatch.
3 points. Up 1 point, 79-78, and we go inside 10 seconds now as Baltimore runs it down. 1 second. With the fourth quarter, it'll be Dory Murray jumping for Baltimore against Willis Reed of New York. Check the Bullets lineup. Earl Monroe had only 1 point in the third quarter. Kevin Loughery, John Tresvant, and Fred Carter. Walt Frazier controls for New York, breaks for the basket and lays it in there. Frazier and Barnett in the backcourt for New York. Bradley, DeBusschere, and Reed on the front line. Earl Monroe, guarded by Walt Frazier. Works in there, shoots over Willis and misses. Reed throwing that big hand up there. Dave DeBusschere out of there. Here we have 6:09 to go in Philadelphia. The 76ers lead Cincinnati 114-102. Frazier. Walt Frazier now with 19. Wes Unseld waiting to come back into the lineup for Baltimore. That's Fred Carter, number 3. Leading scorer in the ball game. 25 points for Fred Carter. He's 11 out of 15 from the field. Walt Frazier working against Carter. Over Murray. Oh, Walter's strong in his second half, isn't he? 21 points for Frazier.
Reed is helping Frazier a lot, setting those picks, shaking him loose for that easy shot, as he did on that last play.
Walt scored 14 of his 21 points here in the second half. Here's Carter. That howitzer misses, and DeBusschere. That's it for New York. Frazier over Loughery. Short. Monroe. 10.5 minutes to go in the ball game. New York by 3. 84-81. Beautiful pass into Loughery. Now the Bullets are down by only one. They have led most of the game. Barnett shot very short. Rebound finally controlled by Trezvant. Shovel to Monroe against Bradley. He's fouled. Bradley. That's 4 on Bill. Dory Murray leaves. Wes Unseld, number 41, returns for Baltimore. So the Bullets will have Trezvant, Unseld, and Carter up front. Monroe and Loughery in the backcourt. Monroe gets the first of 2 free throws to tie the score at 84-84. He's 6 out of 17 from the field. He has 16 points in the game. And now 17. And the Bullets are back on top by 1. DeBusschere. That's Bradley out of the corner. Bradley shooting over Trezvant. And New York leads by 1. Bill has 17. All right, let's watch Monroe. He's going to work against Walt Frazier. It's Unseld against Reed. Pass intended for Trezvant, picked off by DeBusschere. They shot from about 28 feet.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a nip-and-tuck ball game, and both clubs are doing it with outside shooting. They're not breaking loose through the middle for the easy layup. They're hitting the long shot.
Unseld. Oh, missed a layup. He'll get another try. The Knicks by 1, 88-87. PGA final round follows on ABC from Florida. And the American Sportsman will come at about 6:15 tonight. Not the normal scheduling. Normally you have American Sportsman immediately following our ball game at 4:15. Reed against Unseld. Trezvant rebounds for Baltimore. But today the American Sportsman will be seen following our PGA golf coverage. Ball slapped away by Reed. That's about the 4th time in this ball game he's reached in there and tapped it away from the Baltimore center Unseld. Walt Frazier sets up. Loughery comes out with it. Earl Monroe. Which way did he go? Baltimore by 1. Barnett. Offensive foul.
Watch Monroe's shot. Through the legs and up and around. Great body control by Earl Monroe.
3rd foul on Dick Barnett. 8:12 to play in the ball game. Tied 9 times. The lead has changed hands 7 times and 6 times in this half, according to our most efficient statistician, Mr. Jerry Kapstein. How do you keep track of all that? 8 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the ball game. Baltimore 89, New York 88. Baltimore, Earl Monroe, Kevin Loughery, the backcourt. On the front line, Trezvant, Carter, Unseld. For New York, it's Frazier, Barnett, DeBusschere, Bradley, Reed. Baltimore in white with the ball. Carter. 25 points for Fred Carter. Gives it away to Monroe. Frazier finally took it away from him. Barnett. Frazier. DeBusschere. Used the glass. Incidentally, that backboard where that basket was just made, DeBusschere's 16th point. It's a brand new one. They broke one this morning putting it up. Gus Johnson shattered one here a couple of months ago. Beautiful shot. Carter burning them up. 27 points. We're able to find out he likes points. Baltimore by 1 with 7:15 to go in the ball game. Dave DeBusschere. He's working against John Trezvant. Willis Reed.
You know, New York is pressing the guards, and Baltimore is at a disadvantage with only 8 men. Marin went home with the flu, and of course Gus Johnson injured. They have to play it a little cool defensively. They can't afford to lose anybody to foul, so they cannot be as aggressive as New York is being defensively.
Frazier slaps it out of Monroe's hand. Knicks leading 92-91 with 6:48 to go in the ball game. Comes into Carter. Bradley's on him. And Bill snaps it out. Baltimore keeps it. With 10 remaining on the timer.
10 seconds.
And 6:43 in the game. Earl Monroe. Earl the Pearl has 21. Dick Barnett. Into Willis Reed. Frazier. Willis Reed set the pick and took 2 men out of the play, and New York is back on top by 1. .23 for Walt Frazier. Monroe. Pretty tough inside on that rebound. New York comes out with it. 2-on-1. Barnett. That got a laugh from the New York bench. They thought Richard got away with an extra step, and time called by Baltimore. 5:45 remaining in the ball game here in Baltimore on our score. Check the lineups. Dick Barnett, Bill Bradley, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, Dave DeBusschere, New York. Baltimore, Fred Carter, John Tresvant, Wes Unseld, Earl Monroe, Kevin Loughery.
And Walt Frazier has been most effective in pressuring Earl Monroe. Monroe is the key for the Baltimore backcourt. He has the ball most of the time, and Frazier is playing him very tough, very close, and bothering him, not allowing him to make his penetration.
Tough ball game. The lead's changed hands 9 times in this period. Loughery, offensive foul.
Offensive foul on Loughery.
That's 4 on Kevin. New York will play it backcourt. Bradley almost lost it on the out of bounds. DeBusschere trying to get away from Tresvant. Gives it to Reed, and Unseld slaps it out of bounds. That man just stood up there. That's Gene Shute, coach of the Baltimore Bullets. New York in the blue have the ball. Frazier against Carter. DeBusschere and Tresvant. Unseld the rebound. Here's to Carter. Whistle before the shot.
Once again, a good move by Fred Carter as we see him go to the line. When he heard the whistle, he had Tresvant open. But as soon as he heard the whistle, he continued his move to the basket to try and draw the foul. He did.
And for Bill Bradley, that's his 5th personal foul. Bradley leaves the ball game, and Cassie Russell replaces him in this lineup. Fred Carter with 27 this afternoon. Now 28. Outside, Carter gets it. Got to be Carter's biggest day. Earl Monroe playing a little one-on-one against Walt Frazier. Look what I found from Wes Unseld.
That's exactly what happened.
96 apiece, the 10th time the score's been tied. DeBusschere. Knicks by 2, Bullets come up. Earl Monroe. And Ed Rush stops it. It'll be on Frazier, his 3rd. And Dory Murray, number 40, turns, and John Tresvant goes out for Baltimore. So that gives you Murray, Monroe, Unseld, Carter, and Loughery for Baltimore. For New York, it's Frazier, DeBusschere, Reed, Barnett, and Cassie Russell. Bill Bradley on the bench with 5 persons. Final score, Philadelphia, the 76ers 131, Cincinnati 121. Hey, that'll get a couple of rounds of applause in Atlanta, I would think. Here's Cassie Russell over Monroe, missing. Baltimore has the ball. Atlanta at home tonight against Detroit. As of this moment, Atlanta would have a game edge on second place in the Central Division. A win tonight would give them a game and a half edge over Cincinnati. Kevin Loughery loose for a shot. It's Baltimore by 1 with 3:40 to play in the ball game. Carter fouls. Third on Fred.
Carter, number 3.
Walt Frazier will go to the line.
And with 3:37 left, that's only the first team foul on the part of Baltimore. So Baltimore can afford to give several shots here in the closing minutes if they can get 2 or 3 more in before the 2-minute mark. The theory is, of course, to give one and have an opportunity of getting 2 at the other end.
Walt Frazier now has 24 points. Barnett pressing backcourt against Loughery. Scores tied at 99. Unseld inside, goes to Murray, back to Carter. Oh, that's a howitzer. Unseld gets the rebound. Here's Earl Monroe. They're really struggling inside. Unseld. Baltimore's had 3 shots. Cassie Russell. Willis Reed. Unseld. Murray. Cutter fingers it right to DeBusschere. Russell. .101.99 New York. Loughery over Barnett. It's Frazier with the ball for New York. And Red Holzman wants time to talk to the Knicks. So we have 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining to play in the ball game at Civic Center, Baltimore. On our score, New York 101, Baltimore 99. 38 to play, and the score, as you see, it's very much in doubt in this period. Baltimore's had 5 turnovers, New York only 1. That's part of the big story right there.
That's right, and Gene Shue during that timeout was very upset at his team. As I mentioned before, Baltimore has but 1 team foul, and New York came down twice, and Baltimore failed to foul them. He makes his point pretty clear. I guess he was paying attention, Pete.
Gary Zeller, the rookie for Drake. Cassie Russell probably thought that was somebody from Ohio State about to jump on him. So Zeller is back out of the lineup now after doing what he was sent in to do. Cassie with 10 points in the ball game is on the line. Kevin Loughery returns. Cassie converts. That gives New York a 3-point lead. Now let's see if that strategy pays off as Baltimore comes up with Loughery, Unseld, Monroe, Carter, and Tresvant. Carter against Russell. 5 on the timer. Carter shoots. Oh, Cassie Russell, what do you do?
Cassie was right with him. Russell used to play guard, so he's a little quicker than Bradley was, and he can stay with Carter.
Carter, 30 points, commits the foul. 4 fouls on Fred Carter and 30 points. Third team on Baltimore. Knicks by 1, 102 to 101 with 2:02 to play. Frazier on the line for New York. Knicks lead by 2. Willis dragging the leg, notice coming down the court. Earl Monroe against Frazier. To Tresvant. Tresvant got the rebound sitting down. But New York comes up with it. 1:40. Clock running. New York by 2. 10 to go on the timer. Russell. Reed. Reed against Unseld. Leaves to DeBusschere. Reed rebounds and saves. All right, at 1:15, New York by 2. That rebound by Reed's guy. Oh, and plus that gives New York a 4-point lead at 1:10 to go. 19 for Willis. Monroe loses. Barnett blindsides him. That's Cassie Russell. Foul by Carter. Fred Carter with 5 pushes. Red Holzman checking to make sure everything is, he's right with a minute to go. New York by 4.
That rebound by Reed was a big rebound. It chewed up about 35 seconds on the clock, and of course, the clock is on the side of New York right now.
Frazier Russell with 2 shots gives New York a 5-point lead. That's the biggest lead for the Knicks in this game. Slapped out, and New York still controls it. And we are at 52 seconds. Frazier DeBusschere. That should do it. Time called. 48 seconds to play in a ball game. And our score with 48 to go. The New York Knicks 108, Baltimore 101. 48 seconds to play in a ball game, and the score you see. And again, we'll go back to that rebound play where Willis Reed was able to come off the boards with the ball. And as Jack pointed out a moment ago, that consumed 35 seconds with Reed winding up with a bucket off that one play. So the Baltimore Bullets, who picked up 47 feet of court when they called timeout, will put it in play at midcourt. Kevin Loughery will play it in. He wants to go deep. He does to Trezvant. Trezvant is fouled by DeBusschere. So now it's New York's turn to use the strategy of the foul. That's 3 on, David.
We should mention, I don't know how much time he has played, but a big factor in this game for New York, he hasn't played a lot of time. Cassie Russell coming off the bench and getting 12 quick points for the Knicks. He has given them the shot in the arm that they needed at forward.
At number 11 is Gary Zeller, who's just replaced Earl Monroe, who leaves at 22 points. John Trezvant will be on the line for 46 seconds to play. And it's a 6-point New York lead. I think Zeller's capacity is to go in there and commit the foul. We'll see.
You notice New York with that press. They spread to the widest corners of the court, so you can't double team the man with the ball. They're just absolutely spread out, and it's tough to press a team that spreads out like that.
Walt Frazier. Reed. So it's now 110-102, and only 20 seconds to go in the game. Fred Carter. Gary Zeller saves it, and he'll shoot out of the corner. The rookie from Great Gifford. 13 seconds to play in the ball game. Clock running now, 6 points. And a time called by the Knicks. So 9 seconds remaining. New York 110 and Baltimore 104. New York's Walt Frazier will play it in. Comes in deep to DeBusschere. We're now at 5 seconds to go in the game. And the ball game is over.